HVAC, mergers and acquisitions. Who's doing what? Mergers and acquisitions. 2024. Deal flow. Pitch book has got all the M&A activity. Bosch is acquiring Johnson Controls. These guys are selling to Copeland. Venture to Blackstone private equity. If Blackstone or BlackRock is there, what does that mean? Right? Follow the money. And when you end up looking at businesses that are a little bit more expensive than you'd like, and you go, man, they're 4 times earnings or 5 times earnings, you can't make as much profit. You can't make any profit in a 5 times earnings deal. That's why I say, if you're looking for cash flow, look for something that's owner operated 2 to 3 times earnings that you're going to expect to work some time and amount in. If you're a little bit more, you're looking for appreciation, and you're looking to sell a company for a lot of money, you're more interested in appreciation on that deal and buying a good company at a fair price. And so the technique would be, okay, it's 4 times earnings. It's still 25% return on your money. If it's 5 times earnings, it's 20% return on your money, right? If you're using all cash. But if you're using debt service, you're not making any profits at 5 times earnings. So we have to really evaluate the money math. And that's why engineering our plan in the beginning is the smartest step, right? So we can get through these things. So 4 reasons for the boom. Here's the industry update. Here's what's happening. Here's the M&A review. Here's Capstone again. There are plenty of people. Here's the middle market. There are plenty of people with lots of opinions of where these transactions are going and why. In the commercial markets, these guys are buying companies for 5, 6, 7 times earnings. In the residential markets, they're buying this stuff for 5, 6, 7 times earnings, right? They're different buyers based on commercial versus residential, same strategy. And so, Hastrauser just closed on a deal in Indiana. And, at the end of the day, there's $1.3 million in free cash flow. It was $5.5 million. 4 times earnings. There's only a couple $100,000 in cash flow when it's all said and done. The deal is, though, we beat every single private equity company out there, and they had an offer from a private equity company for $7 million. So what does that mean? There's $1.5 million in profit upside just by reselling that company to a private equity company. So, yes, it's making less cash flow because we paid more for it, but there's more demand on the other side for the exit to make more money. I mean, that's $1.5 million discount if we were to sell the company, and we didn't do anything different. We didn't do anything new in the business, right? So there are plenty of publications. There's plenty of information. There's plenty of stuff out there to do your homework on what's working and what's not. Okay, and every one of these categories is the same thing. So, you're simply using Google to find who's doing what in the transactions. We don't have to get a pitch book and find who the principal is of the private equity company. Not until we're ready to sell that company. You're just not there, though, right? You're just not there. So let's go through some of these and why. Pest control, already talked about. Salon suites, already talked about. HVAC, already talked about. Plumbing, electric, all of these essential services, these 3 categories alone are the most abundant leads in the market if you were to run ads for anything. Why? Because it's an essential service. Good market, bad economy, good economy, doesn't really matter. If your electrical is acting up, or you need to have lights installed outside, or your panel is starting to smoke, right? You're going to have to call the electrician. There's not much you can do. The plumbing, if the toilet backs up in the middle of the night, who are you going to call, right? The guy that answers his phone first is the one that wins. It is an essential service. It is a guaranteed service. I know Adam Dietrich is working on the electric company. Some of that stuff, the commercial stuff, could be catered to new build and new construction, and so that's one side of the house. The other side is residential. Residential, again, the difference between these 2 things and the advantages of why I like commercial is going to be bigger ticket items, $250,000 projects. Residential, if I was to rewire this whole house, I know how much it cost me. It cost me $50,000 to rewire this whole house, but it was done in 2 days. 2 weeks. So the cash conversion cycle was much quicker for that electrician, right, to do a job in 2 weeks rather than to find it, quote it, bid it, get the materials, get the deposit, start the project, execute the project, get the money on it, close the project out. That could be 120 days. And so residential's got a shorter cash conversion cycle. Commercial has a longer cash conversion cycle, but you have bigger tickets. The margins are lower in commercial projects. The margins are higher in residential. The project volume is lower in residential. The project volume is higher in commercial. There's a trade-off, right? A residential business or a commercial business could be doing $5 million and making $500,000 in profits. Residential business could be doing $2 million and making $500,000. That's the difference between the two. It costs less capital to run that business, and the cash conversion cycle is much lower. Now, a business can do both. A business can do commercial and residential. Adam's got a unique thing where he's got a lighting store, right? And that becomes a profit center for the business where he's distributing particular products to the customers. And so there's a number of things to consider when you're going through that process. Residential and commercial, cash conversion cycles, and operating capital that you need to run that business. All things I want you to consider. So HVAC, plumbing, electric, all very, very solid.